Hey guys, welcome back. It's JJ Kutu. I got another deck profile for you. Hey, it's been a really long time since I've been able to do one. Life happens. I got really busy, and now I'm in school and I'm working. I just don't have the amount of time I used to have. And I also moved. So, that said, we'll jump right into it. We'll get it out of the way. So, if you read the link, which of course you did because you went to click on my video if you didn't, it's yosenju kaiju, extra decks rocking up here just to save some time on the video. So we've got 3-1, 3-2, and 3-3, and then one Sujik, and that's all the yosenjus that we're playing. Pendulum ones, they're not good. Sujik is optional. He's kind of just to help get over beat over people. Personally, I don't really like him, but he's another name. And I do play him at 1, and sometimes he's helpful. Oop, sorry about that. Dropped a whole bunch of cards on my floor. Alright, so for spells, we're going 3 Tenkies, 3 Dualities, and my new favorite tech card, and we'll come back to this at the end of the video, Summoning Curse. This is my favorite card. It's a 3F in this deck. And I will explain why. It's super good, super broke, should be banned, or at least put to 1. Interrupted Slumber Kaiju at 1, Upstart Goblin at 1, Desires at 1, because you really don't want to banish your key cards, Defissure at 1, Regeki at 1, and 1 Spring of Rebirth. Spring of Rebirth, whenever a monster bounces back to the hand, you gain 500 life points. So, you got comma 1, comma 2, comma 3. Well, that's 15 life points. You can put a lot of difference on the board with that. Alright, rockin' traps here. We got 2 strike. I am playing Warning. Don't have it in the deck at the moment. I don't have one to show you. But there you go. There's a warning for you. 2 Floodgate. 1 Heavy Storm Dusters. 1 Macro. 1 Torrential. 1 Quaking, 1 Drowning, 1 Secret Move, yosenju Secret Move, and 1 Lose 1 Turn. Now the reason I'm playing multiple Secret Moves is because it's not the most helpful, because you have to have only yosenjus, and it's only really like when you're normal summoning them that it comes up when people try to strike or whatever. Now I understand with strike being prevalent and most people playing at 2 or 3, you might want to side them if you know your opponent's gonna have them, or maybe main deck them. It's iffy. I'm gonna start working on a build with maybe playing at 2 or 3. Not quite sure. Maybe take Sujik out for 1. That being said, I do think I ran over and forgot the kaijus because I'm so organized in my first video back. So we got Gameciel, Kumungus, Dogaram, and Thunder King. So I'm playing 1 of each, just name targets, just in case I draw that, the Kaiju Slumber. So if you do draw Slumber and you're playing multiples of the same names, could get hard with targets in the deck, which is why I play all different names. Alright, so I promised I would come back to my favorite tech card. And here it is, Summoning Curse. So what this does is you activate it, and then whenever a player... we'll read the actual text here. I'll read it. So when a monster is special summoned, the controller chooses 1 card in their hand and removes it from play. During each of your end phases, pay 500 life points or destroy this card. So it's an optional. You don't have to keep it on board. Whatever. You always do want to keep it on board. If you can get 2 of them on board, this deck will destroy your opponent. Okay, so because the spell says when a monster is special summoned, the controller of that monster chooses a card, this is where it gets fun, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go typical yosenjus, normal summon, normal summon, normal summon. Okay, that's a 1, a 3, and a 1. And we're going to go ahead and move this extra deck out of the way here. Now, let's go with... my opponent's got some kind of monster here, okay? Maybe it's this massive dark magician. Alright, so what you're going to do is you're going to go kaiju. Get rid of this giant card, right? And get rid of that. So you kaiju them, right? So your opponent now banishes one card out of their hand. So that's a -2. They lost their monster and they lose a card out of their hand because they control the kaiju that was special summoned. So now you're going to use Kama 1's effect to put the card back in your hand. So now you have the kaiju and you just took 2 cards away from them. So now let's say they made a board of 4 big monsters. Well, now, because you already have 2 kaiju or 2 Kama 1's on the field, you can kaiju them again, bounce it back. Now you've stripped 4 cards from them, 2 monsters and 2 cards out of their hand that they had to banish. Now, you could kaiju another one and then possibly overlay into like a Castell or something, or if you had 2, you could just swing directly. But here's what the deck does: you don't ever want to leave the kaiju on the field. You always want to keep it back in your hand, because next turn, when these all come back, you can do the same thing again. You summon, you summon, you summon, you kaiju, you bounce it to hand, they lose a card on their field and their hand. You kaiju, bounce it back to hand, and they lost 4 cards again. 3 will keep adding yosenjus, and usually what you want to do is you want to have at least a 2 and a 3 before you keep adding 1s. Having multiple 1s is always good, but having the 2 is also very good to have in hand. Just because yosenjus can't normal summon the same name right after themselves. You can't go normal summon 1, normal summon 1, normal summon 1. So it's good to have variants. You gotta make sure you have enough other named kaijus in your hand to continue plays. So that being said, if you get 2 Summoning Curse on the board, you can strip your opponent of a lot of cards. Now, you can't do this going first, so you can't completely, hand lock them out. Unless, and there are ways to do this with this card. There are ways, like Black Garden with Summoning Curse. If you special summon enough times on your field, your opponent will summon, you'll summon tokens onto your opponent's field and then strip their entire hand. But this is a very good deck. Going second is usually preferred just because you can't kaiju anything if you go first. But the floodgates are also very nice to have, like macro defissure, floodgates, whatnot. So I guess it depends on if you know what your opponent's playing, going first or second. Hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully I wasn't too rambly. It is my first video back. Thank you for watching. If you could hit that like button, that's cool. I don't really care. I appreciate it, but I understand, I'm still getting used to it. And there's a lot of people that do this for a hobby, and I'm one of those people. I don't care a whole lot. I kind of do this for me, and I just like the fact that other people like to watch it as well. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want to. Comment if you need to. If you have questions or deck ideas. I love deck ideas. Thank you so much, and have a great day, guys.